Welcome to this explainer. So, have you ever wondered why some people, let's just call them student B for now, seem to absorb information like a giant sponge? I mean, they get drastically better results with what looks like half the effort. Or on the flip side, maybe you spent 2 exhausting hours staring at a book only to realize you couldn't explain a single thing you just read. Well, we are going to dive straight into the source material today to explore a hidden mental framework. It's a framework that literally separates those who struggle to retain information from those who seem to master it effortlessly. It's a really fascinating journey into the architecture of your own mind. So let's get started.
To really wrap our heads around this, let's look at a classic scenario. The tale of two students preparing for the exact same exam. On the left, we've got student A. Now, student A puts in the hours. They read the chapter 3 times, their textbook is an absolute sea of bright yellow highlighter, and because all that material feels so familiar to their eyes, they confidently think, yep, I know this. But then, look at student B on the right. Student B reads the chapter just once, but then they do something radically different. They close the book. They actually try to explain the concepts completely from memory. And by doing this, they instantly spot the gaps. They find those little spots where they thought they understood something but actually didn't. They're actively testing their own boundaries. And this brings us to a really crucial realization. The differentiator here, it isn't intelligence. If student B gets the higher grade, it's not necessarily because they were born with a higher IQ or some naturally photographic memory. Nope. A person can be highly intelligent and still have incredibly poor awareness of how they actually learn. Student B just possesses a really powerful hidden skill. They have this ability to constantly monitor their own learning process in real time. So, what is that hidden skill? It's called metacognition. It was introduced into the psychological literature by developmental psychologist John Flavel. And metacognition is, simply put, our knowledge and awareness of our own cognitive processes. In practical, everyday terms, it boils down to thinking about how you think. It's that absolutely crucial little step backward. Think of it as the ability to sort of hover above your own brain and observe your mental processes as they're happening. Let's see what that looks like in practice. Standard cognition is simply the act of doing. It's the baseline operation in your head stating, I am studying this chapter, or I am angry at this person. It is just the immediate, raw thought. But the moment we apply metacognition, the entire framework changes. Metacognition asks, wait, do I actually understand this chapter? Or what exactly triggered my anger, and why am I interpreting the situation this way? You see the difference there? It instantly interrogates the process itself. It flat out refuses to take the baseline thought at face value. Instead of just feeling familiar with the words on a page, metacognition asks if you can actually wield that knowledge. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it breaks down the two main pillars of the concept. On one side, we have metacognitive knowledge. Think of this as your personal instruction manual. It's knowing exactly how your specific mind works, like knowing you focus better in the morning, or realizing you grasp concepts way faster when you explain them out loud to a friend. On the other side, we have metacognitive regulation. And guys, this is where the magic happens. This isn't just knowing your mind. It's actively using that awareness to change what you do in the moment. It's the exact engine that makes student B learn so much faster.
This awareness builds into an active 3-step engine of regulation. Step 1 is plan. Before you even start, you ask, what should I study first? What does this specific task actually require from me? Step 2 is monitor. While you're in the thick of it, you stop and ask, am I actually understanding this or just passively reading words? And step 3 is evaluate. Afterward, you test yourself, asking, can I explain this without looking at my notes? By running this exact loop, you aren't just studying harder. You are continually recalibrating your strategy, making sure that not a single minute of your time is wasted on an approach that just isn't working.
But here's where this gets incredibly powerful, because this isn't just for the classroom. Let's pivot and apply this to our daily lives for a second. Imagine this relatable scenario. Someone doesn't reply to your text message. I want you to take a step back right now and think about it. When this happens to you, what are you assuming? If we operate purely on regular cognition, our automatic reaction is usually pretty defensive. We think, oh, they're ignoring me, and immediately we feel hurt or rejected. But if we insert that metacognitive pause, we stop that automatic train right in its tracks. We ask, do I actually know for a fact that they are ignoring me? Or could there be another explanation? By examining our thinking, we stop accepting our very first, emotionally charged thought as an absolute, undeniable fact.
This metacognitive pause acts like a powerful emotional shield. Let's say someone criticizes your work. The old pathway is super simple. Event leads directly to automatic reaction. They criticize you, you assume they think you're incompetent, and you get incredibly defensive. But the metacognitive pathway creates a much-needed buffer. It goes event, then awareness, then reflection, and finally response. You pause and ask yourself, why did that comment affect me so strongly? Am I interpreting constructive feedback as a personal rejection just because I'm exhausted today? That brief pause gives you the power to choose your response, rather than just being a victim to your reflexes.
It's also the absolute ultimate tool for dismantling cognitive distortions. You know, those unhelpful thinking patterns we all fall into from time to time. Take the thought, I failed this test, so I'm a total failure. A metacognitive approach dismantles this instantly by asking, wait, am I making a massive general conclusion about my entire self-worth based on one single event? Or if you think, everyone is angry with me, metacognition steps in and asks, do I actually have solid evidence for that, or am I just interpreting their behavior through my own anxiety right now? You aren't suppressing your thoughts. You're simply recognizing that a thought is just a mental event. It is not automatically a fact.
Okay, let's dive straight into this. Section title, The Metacognition Toolkit. 5 questions to train your mind.
Because this is a highly trainable skill, you really don't need any complicated psychological techniques. You just need a practical toolkit. So, here is your daily mental checklist. Number 1, what am I thinking right now? This simply identifies your current state. Number 2, why am I thinking this way? This uncovers your hidden assumptions and emotions. Number 3, what evidence supports my thinking? This one is absolutely critical. It separates the cold facts from your dramatic interpretations. Number 4, is my current strategy working? Whether you're studying for a big exam or arguing with a partner, you have to evaluate your approach. And number 5, what could I do differently? This is the most important step because it turns your self-awareness into real, actionable change. Seriously, try taking just 5 minutes tonight to write down a difficult situation you faced today and run it through these exact 5 questions.
Now, a really crucial point of clarification before we wrap up. Developing this skill does not mean constantly analyzing every single random thought that pops into your head. The goal is absolutely not to live obsessively inside your own mind. In fact, excessive self-analysis can actually be deeply unhelpful. Metacognition is not about overthinking. It is simply about thinking intentionally. It's about developing just enough awareness to recognize when you're learning, your decision-making, or your emotional state needs a quick adjustment.
Which brings us to our final thought from our source material today. The very next time you confidently think, oh, I know this, or negatively think, this is never going to work, take that one step back. Ask yourself for the evidence. Because ultimately, the most important thing we can learn in this life is not just how to think, but how to deeply understand our own thinking. As the source beautifully puts it, understand your mind, understand your rhythm. This is the real secret behind why Student B learns faster. They aren't just memorizing facts, they are mastering their own mind. So I'll leave you with this question. What automatic thought did you have today that, if you had just taken a quick metacognitive pause, might have completely changed the outcome of your day? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring the architecture of your own mind.